If you like this video, please click on the like button. Comment with the names of the movies you would like us to cover next. Click the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get notified of our latest creations. We cover 100 movies from around the world every day. To advertise with our channel, reach out to us. Our contact information is on our channel page. Now, let's move to the plot of this movie.
Kristen, a writer and sales expert for a cosmetics company, is in the throes of a midlife crisis. Her only son has just left for college. She catches her husband having sex with a younger woman in the basement of their home. And her bosses at the company treat her with contempt. She receives a call from a lawyer named Bianca in Calabria, learning that her only living relative, her grandfather, has died and that she must attend his funeral and be present at the reading of his will. Jenny, Kristen's friend, convinces her that attending the funeral will give her a chance to start over. Upon landing in Calabria, Kristen runs into a local, Lorenzo, and his aunt Esmeralda. Kristen is attracted to Lorenzo and gives him her number before being picked up by Bianca's associates, Dante and Aldo. The funeral proceeds smoothly until armed men stage an ambush, and the coffin is destroyed by bullets. Aldo and Dante, following Bianca's instructions, get Kristen to safety. At the reading, Bianca reveals that she is in fact the consigliere of the Balbano family, a powerful branch of the Sicilian Mafia. Kristen learns that her grandfather was the boss of the family, and that despite disapproving of his son having a child with an American woman, he wishes to honor tradition and have Kristen succeed him. A hysterical Kristen demands to leave, but Bianca calms her, and she is persuaded to take on the role. Kristen's first act as boss is to meet with Don Carlo, boss of the rival Romano family, and settle a dispute between the two gangs over the murder of both her grandfather and the previous Romano Don. Carlo manages to seduce Kristen and lures her into his hotel room, where he slips a dose of poison into her limoncello. However, a nervous Kristen accidentally switches their glasses and Don Carlo chokes to death. The Romanos promote Carlo's cousin, Mamone, to succeed him. Fabrizio, Kristen's caporegime, disagrees with her plans to diversify the Balbano family's criminal operations by setting up legal businesses that include reopening her grandfather's famous winery. Lorenzo and Kristen grow closer, but the relationship is frustrated by an inability for either of them commit to each other. A hitman sent by Don Mamone interrupts Kristen in the middle of a Zoom conference with her bosses. She manages to stab him to death with her heel, only to then learn that the company has decided to fire her. A despondent Kristen goes to Lorenzo's house, and they sleep together. The next day, she meets with Don Mamone, who agrees to forswear any further acts of vengeance against her and restore the peace between their families. Kristen finally accepts her situation and begins to take a more active involvement in the family, while also spending more time with Lorenzo. Their relationship is tested when her husband suddenly turns up in Calabria, claiming to be broke and in need of her help. Kristen refuses to do so and sends him away. She also lies to her son about Lorenzo, claiming he is only a friend, and causing him to question whether she truly loves him. Kristen arranges a meeting with the Romanos to announce that she is retiring from the Mafia and giving her role as boss to Bianca. Don Mamone is enraged, and an armed standoff ensues before police officers led by Lorenzo and Esmeralda, who are secretly undercover detectives, raid the meeting place and take everyone into custody. Kristen hires Jenny to represent her in court, and because many of the locals have benefited from her family's largesse, they testify in her favor. She is cleared of all charges and meets with Lorenzo, who explains that his real name is Rudy. Kristen forgives him for deceiving her but decides to devote herself entirely to the family. Bianca is seemingly murdered, and Kristen finds both her husband and her son held at gunpoint by Fabrizio, who turns out to be a traitor in league with the Romanos. He is about to murder Kristen when Bianca catches him off guard, and Kristen drops him to his death inside a grape crusher. She sends his finger as a warning to Don Mamone. Sometime later, Kristen's son is about to return home. As he departs, he sees his mother formally receiving guests in her capacity as head of the Balbano family.